Most bankers aren't ready to help you until after their third cup of coffee. But with Central National Bank's after-hours service, you don't have to wait for the bank lobby to open to get help. You can contact us from 6 to 8:30 in the morning or from 5 to 10 in the evening, and we'll connect you to a real, live, local person who can answer questions and fix problems 7 days a week. Bank different. Bank Central. Central National Bank. Member FDIC.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and there's 2 different levels that you can, subscribe to, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows. So if you are far away and you couldn't make our last live show, it will be on the website. We're going to record this future live show. It's going to be on Patreon, but also bonus episodes each month. You guys tell us all the time you want more episodes. This is a way for you to get more episodes. So you're going to get our basic Tuesday, Thursdays that we always put out, right? But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
I can't wait to talk about in detail some more stories because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
They just unsubscribed. This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. So if that is breaking some of your hearts, just go ahead and subscribe now. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
All right. Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
Bloody Happy Hour here.
And it's Thursday.
We are drinking on our Topo Chico Spirited. And I tasted tequila in this. Tequila and lime Topo Chico.
Oh, yes.
5.9%.
I just saw that.
It's not bad.
I'm going to have to bring some next time.
Shout out to the river bend that's right here. It was convenient. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's perfect.
So, we are going to have a good Mother's Day episode for you guys.
Aww.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And I think it wasn't last Mother's Day, maybe the Mother's Day before that, we did a whole month of Killer Mommies.
Oh my gosh.
That was 2 years ago.
Do we need to do that again?
I kind of liked the monthly.
We may be going back to themes.
We might need to do it.
I'm all about it.
So I'm going to do a murderous mother today. So I'm not going to call it Killer Mommies. It's a murderous mother. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm going to tell you the beginning. And then let's see if
Murderous.
If you know who it is, or if you're driving or listening to it, shout out the name out loud in your office if you think you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, be very loud and proud.
Okay, so we're going to 1983.
Oh, shit. Okay.
May 19th, which is the weekend after Mother's Day. There was a single mom driving that pulled up at a hospital with her 3 children. One was dead, and the other, they were all shot The one was severely injured, and the mom had also been shot in her arm. Okay? So she had her 3 kids. They were all having to go into like emergency surgery, except for the one that was already dead. Now, she told the police when she got to the hospital and they were questioning her that she was driving, and this was like 10:30 at night, down a dark road, and a bushy-haired man flagged her down. And when she stopped, he tried to hijack her car. And when she refused, he shot her 3 kids in the back seat and shot her in the arm. And the only reason why she got away is because she pretended to throw the keys like in a field to distract the man. And she drove away speeding towards the hospital because the man was distracted.
This is giving some Susan Smith vibes.
It is a little bit. So the total town was in paranoia. I think we're in
Arizona?
Oregon. Yeah, I think we're in Oregon.
This sounds very familiar.
The whole town was in paranoia. This is the story of Diane Downs.
Oh! Did I do this one ever?
You did. You kept talking about it, but you never did it.
Well, no wonder I knew. I was like, I know this story. Damn it. I wish I would have guessed it first.
Okay. So.
Oh, this bitch.
She was born Elizabeth Diane Downs in Phoenix, Arizona, and she was the oldest of 4 children. Her parents were very, very, very conservative. Not Mormons, but just about. And Diane, too, started off to be very conservative. But that will soon change because when she goes to high school, she wants to be part of the in crowd. And she changes. She doesn't go by Elizabeth anymore. She wants to go by Diane.
Never trusted Diane.
Never trusted Diane. And she's going to soon be Dirty Diane because as soon as she gets in high school, she dyes her hair blonde.
Does she have the pencil eyebrows? Like,
I think so.
Oh, hell no.
So she starts being a little dirty in high school, and she's dating older boys, and she changes her whole look, and she starts doing the dirty real early.
What a slut.
So at 16 years old, she meets her high school love, and his name is Stephen Downs, okay? But her parents, her very conservative, very religious parents, are really frightened, and they're really upset because by the time she is 16, she's having a full-blown premarital sex, no bagpiping.
Hey.
No bagpiping. Is that
the armpit sex? That's what it's called?
Yes. Premarital sex, and this is very hard for them.
Well, how, is she like telling them about it, or like what?
Yeah.
Oh,
or
she's
I think
bragging
they just.
about
I
it.
just think
she's
they
like,
just
hey,
know their daughters
I'm
are
going
dirty.
upstairs to have sex with my boyfriend. Me and Steven are gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Well, her and Steven become inseparable in high school, and then after high school, they stay together, and they got this great plan. Steven's gonna go join the Navy.
Oh, great. And
Diane gets accepted to Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College in Orange, California. That's
so many red flags.
Pacific Coast Baptist Bible College. You guys tell us if that is still open because I've never heard of it. And they were going to have this great long-distance relationship and promised to be monogamous.
Oh, likely. You're already a hoe slut.
Hoe for show.
You're a hoe for show.
But, you know, Diane, she liked to do the dirty.
She liked to be for Diane.
She cheated on him basically immediately.
Yeah.
And she was...
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hey, I'm Blair.
And I'm Brittany. And we're the host of
By the Cover Podcast.
We cover everything from mysteries, thrillers, romance, chick lit, and even some smut.
Don't forget the smut.
Yeah.
We're so excited to get this thing going and share this with you guys. We've been talking about this for months, and it's finally happening.
Yes.
Special shout out to Rogue Media for helping us with this.
For sure. You can find us on Instagram at @bythecover_podcast.
You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok, so don't forget to give us a follow on those two also.
And we are so excited to dive into some of our favorite books and share those with you.
We can't wait. Hope you love it.
Step into the unexpected with Cultastic, or How to Start a Cult Without Really Trying. A podcast where cult creation unfolds in the most unpredictable way. Join us on a unique journey into the world of theoretical cult formation. Unlike any other podcast, each episode of Cultastic is co-written in part using ChatGPT, and we let it decide our fate, good or bad. What makes Cultastic truly intriguing? We don't know what's coming each week. Together with our AI co-author, we'll discover and build this cult, one episode at a time, exploring various aspects of cult dynamics, leadership, and group psychology. Delve into themes of charisma, influence, and the power of group thinking. It's a blend of expert analysis, theoretical exploration, and the unforeseen twists of AI-generated ideas. Remember, Cultastic is an exercise in imagination and education where we weave a narrative one episode and one tenant at a time. Curious about where this journey will take us? Subscribe to Cultastic, or How to Start a Cult, without really trying on your favourite podcast platform or at roguemedianetwork.com. Let's build this mission to save the people of Earth, week by unpredictable week.
Hi, this is Sarah,
And I'm Carter.
and this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
You know what? Actually, let me
Shame.
Let me change my attitude. Let me get an attitude adjustment. You get you some, Diane. You get it in.
Go get it
You
in.
get it in where you
I'm
can
not
fit
mad
it
at
in.
her. I'm not mad at her.
No. You know what? Just maybe get tested. You probably got about 14 STDs at this point, but you're going to do it, and let's see what Steven. He's probably,
Listen, Steven's a good guy.
doing it in the butt.
So Steven, he finds out about this, and it's pretty traumatic for him. His feelings are hurt. But he marries her anyways in 1973.
Oh, loyal.
So
She must have had the good.
good. But their marriage their relationship was already pretty shitty.
I mean,
Marriage doesn't get any
He
better. So
obviously has no confidence.
getting married does not fix things.
oh, it doesn't?
No. And there's another thing that doesn't fix broken relationships, and
Oh,
that's having kids.
Oh.
So they argued about financial issues, and you know what? Diane
You're on the
was
path
still
of not a
cheating.
good marriage. You've obviously already cheated on this guy. You
having money issues.
You got financial problems.
And she keeps getting these boyfriends.
And you're a hoe.
Yeah. So now we got a problem with it because now you're married. So, but, you know, the answer to saving your marriage, Caroline, is to have kids.
Yes. And if one doesn't work, have another.
Yeah.
And if that one didn't have another.
So
Just
it's
keep having
exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They had Christy Lynn in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
And in 1976, they had Cheryl Lynn. And then husband Stephen was like, okay, that's enough. I'm going to go and get a vasectomy because we can barely pay our bills anyways. And kids aren't the answer. So,
nope. Not it.
But you know, Diane loved to be pregnant.
Oh, gosh.
So.
She could be a surrogate. Okay, like, no.
Are you predicting the story?
I don't know. Am I?
So she got pregnant again.
Oh.
But husband Steve was like,
I have a vasectomy.
I have
so
a
it's
vasectomy.
clearly not me. Immaculate conception.
Diane was like, Jesus came to visit me.
Jesus.
Or, no, sorry, God came to visit me. So, according to Diane, the vasectomy didn't work, and sometimes they don't work. And so that's why she's pregnant, and it's a miracle.
He got them swimmers, you know.
But Stephen was like, no, ma'am, I don't believe you.
Not falling
So
for it.
they ended up having an abortion, but not before she named her baby Carrie.
Oh, like the killer Carrie.
So in 1978, they moved to Mesa, Arizona, and they got a job together. They were going to work together because their marriage is so great at a mobile home manufacturing place. So they build mobile homes at this job.
So they're working together. Okay.
Working together.
Good.
But you know who works at mobile home places?
Carnies?
Men. Men with penises.
Oh, no.
So
Even women with penises.
She had to test them all out.
Well, yeah, I mean, as one would. As one would.
She had to try them all out.
Yeah.
And
to let Stephen know, like, hey, maybe try this. Or, like, let's try this.
Yeah.
Because
this
when
is
I
how
was over there with, you know,
JoJo,
Frankie, he was, like, doing, like, okay, so, yeah.
So what happens when you have a lot of sex, you get pregnant again?
Oh.
So she's pregnant again, and this is 1979, and this is when Stephen Daniel was born, but they call him Danny. So we
and
got
they
Christy,
still had the baby.
Cheryl, and Danny. And Stephen, Daddy Stephen, knew that the right thing to do is to be a daddy to this baby, and he even gave the baby his name, even though they knew the baby daddy.
Was black.
No,
the baby was
no.
Mexican. Baby was Asian.
The baby,
because you know she'd be doing it all over the place.
All
She
over
does
the
not
place.
discriminate at all.
Well,
0%.
They worked with Daddy too, so they knew who the daddy was, but Stephen was just trying to be, I guess, trying to do
sometimes
good.
you can get pregnant from just doing a blowjob, so that's probably what happened.
Yeah, and that what happened on one of those stories.
Mm-hmm.
So this didn't last very long because, you know, Stephen was born or Danny was born in 1979, but by 1980 they were divorced because husband
Stephen's
was like
Mm-mm.
I can't deal with it.
No, I'm not trying to get an STD and nothing.
Yeah.
I'm out.
So the next couple years, Diane does what Diane does, and she shacks up with a bunch of different men.
Yeah.
She has multiple men that she's sleeping with, including multiple affairs with married men, and she'll soon find that she loves some married men.
She does.
All while she is still grooming Stephen and trying to get back with husband.
Oh.
So, I mean, she's got a busy vajayjay.
She is, you know what? She is putting in the work. That is a lot of work.
And you know what? You were right. She liked being pregnant so much. Diane had a great idea that she could become a surrogate mother.
Yeah.
Because she loved being pregnant and she could make money.
Absolutely. I'm thinking
It's a
about
win-win.
It is a win-win.
Kill two birds
with
one stone. So you can't just like wake up one day and
Be
say,
like,
I want to
"Oh,
be
I'm
a
a surrogate."
surrogate. You have to like go through psychological exams.
Oh, okay. You have to get tested.
She failed 2 of them.
Oh, no.
They said that she was very smart, but obviously psychotic, quote unquote.
Clearly.
So Diane actually bragged about this to like her friends and her neighbors. She was like, yeah, I can't be a surrogate because, look, they say I'm psychotic. We'll soon know. So in 81, she gets a job as a mail lady, postal carrier.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, no.
And the kids are going back and forth with their daddies. So they have like joint custody. But the neighbors thought she was a shitty mom because the kids, like, it'd be cold outside and they'd be wearing too little clothes and like no jacket, or they were dirty, or she'd be gone and going out, and she would leave the oldest sister, which is Christy, who was 6 years old at this time, at home to watch the younger two kids.
Oh, that is very responsible. A 6-year-old.
She's
a 6-year-old.
She's being frugal. She don't want to pay for a babysitter. She's saving money for her kids.
She's saving money for going out, bruh.
So she doesn't want to let go of this dream of being a surrogate. So she keeps trying. And I guess they're finally like, okay, fine. You're pretty cute, so I guess you'll make pretty kids. So she continues to try, and the third time is a charm because she's accepted, and she gets $10,000. Gets paid $10,000 to become a surrogate. And back then, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money now.
Yes.
I would be a surrogate.
Tomorrow. No, not for $10,000.
No.
You got to give me a
You
whole
gotta give me
lot
more
more
than
money.
that.
And you probably got to give me a uterus again.
Oh, well, I still got that, but, you know, it can't be drinking. I don't know.
No.
Nope.
So, and after she did it this one time, she thought she was an expert. So, her next step is to start her own surrogacy business.
Oh,
She's a pro.
She is an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And do you know that still happens? I know 2 surrogate mothers. We used to work with one. You have no idea who I'm talking about, do you? But that is still a thing.
Well,
people get paid like tens of thousands of.
Well, that's how the Kardashians had all their kids.
And Beyonce allegedly
with her one
had Blue Ivy.
Well, Michelle Obama was never pregnant.
Hey, you need to take up for Michelle because she's tall and she's got small hips and she's an athlete and like big hands and big feet.
You trying to say I'm a man?
They're making fun of her.
I know. That's why that's why I only make fun of her for not having pictures of her being pregnant. Because they're like, she's so big, and I'm like, shit, I'm big.
Her hands are big.
I got
her
big
feet
hands,
are big.
and I got big feet.
Smallest waist.
But when I dance, my penis does not go back and forth, and I've seen her penis go back and forth a couple of times.
Oh, Michelle, you got a penis.
Michael.
So, let's see. Okay, so she wants to start her own surrogacy business, but, you know, it doesn't happen. She just goes to extremes. But, you know, she meets a guy named Nick Knickerbocker.
I love this. I love him. I love his name.
Robert Knickerbocker.
That's amazing.
He's married, and they have an affair, and she later says that she's never been so in love ever with Nick Knickerbocker. But he's married, and he doesn't want to leave his wife for her.
No.
And it's just too much for Diane because she's never really had rejection.
Oh. Well, because she just wanted the D. So then it's like the D and leave. And then now she's wanting more than that because it's Knickerbocker. And who doesn't want a Knickerbocker?
Yeah. Who wouldn't want to name their...
I absolutely...
have that last name.
Yes. Caroline Knickerbocker.
Yeah, you
Caroline
say that too fast. So he breaks it off with her because he's like, I'm not going to leave you to go for my wife. I was just doing you. And then I'm going back to my wife.
Clearly, as one would.
And Diane is heartbroken and goes to Oregon to live. Okay? But she could not kick him. Like, she could not get over him.
He really hit the spot.
She was stigmatized. I was going to say dynamitized.
No, yes. There have been some episodes or experiences where one does get stigmatized.
Okay. Well,
allegedly, I've heard from sources that will go unnamed. Okay.
So she tries to meet up with him a couple times, and he's like, no. But in April of 1983, they meet up again, and he rejected her, but told her the reason this time.
Oh.
It's because he didn't want to be a daddy to her 45 kids that she had. And frankly, he didn't want to be a daddy, period, let alone a daddy to her kids. So it'll never work out.
Yeah.
He was like, it's never going to work.
Okay.
Go raise your kids. So the next month is when she was in this horrible carjacking incident with her kids. And
well, that's just so coincidental.
that is kind of the same story like Susan Smith.
Yes.
Remember
I
her
think she
work
copied
boyfriend?
her.
Or who copied who?
I don't know. Which one was first?
I think Diane Downs is probably one of our first murder mommies. So now we're back at the hospital. So now I'm back at the beginning. Like they're carjacked and they're back at the hospital. And after they were carjacked, the doctor comes out after surgery and he's kind of explaining like this kid, right? So Cheryl, middle child, died. And then the doctor says, like, she didn't blink. She didn't cry. She wasn't shocked.
She was like, okay, good.
She was like, okay, one down.
One down. Tick.
And then says that Danny was shot in his spine, but they were able to perform surgery, and he is now like
stable.
Yeah. Stable, but will probably be paralyzed. She
Oh,
abruptly
no.
interrupted and said, wait,
What?
he wasn't shot in the heart?
Oh.
Must have been where she was aiming.
You missed bad. You went on the whole wrong side. If he's shot in the spine.
Yeah. The bullet, like, pierced the spine. So he will be, and then the other Christy is in a coma.
Oh, and she comes out.
She seemed almost sad that Christy's not dead.
She just got 1 for 3, and she was trying to go 3 for 3.
And then in her next breath, she says, can I use your phone? I got to call my friend Nick.
Yeah, because, you know, she was like, hey, I only have 2 kids now, so can we be together?
She has not even called Stephen Downs yet. Like, has not even called the father of their kids. She's going straight to Knickerbocker because she wants.
I hate this lady.
So she's very calm. She didn't have any tears. And when the doctor was telling her about the kids, she goes, I don't know how I'm going to get all these stains out of my car. It's my new car. Like, all this blood.
Oh, focus on priorities. Absolutely. I mean, I'm kind of be worried about that too.
This is clearly how a mom acts when they hear that their kids have been in a traumatic event and dead.
Yes.
So
straight to worrying about your
I think
car
it's all
call.
normal. I don't even know why we're talking
don't
about
know
this.
why this is even a story.
Blood splatter on the car did not match up to her story. And then GSR was found in spots that did not fit her story.
No, ma'am.
So, but they have a lot of like red flags going on, right?
I mean, a few.
But you don't have any true evidence that she might have
Like
did
who was?
anything.
Okay.
So all they have is like the doctor saying, hey, police, she's a little sketchy. And she goes in to see her daughter that's in the coma, right? And
she's suffocating
her daughter's heart rate and blood pressure like skyrockets. All the bells start ringing.
Oh.
And the nurses were like, she's acting like she's scared of her mom.
Oh.
So they tell the doctors that. The doctors also tell the police. And so the police, okay, all right. They got this list of like, bitches guilty list. And so they're writing all this stuff on this list. Then it's time to do a composite sketch. Okay? And the composite sketch of the man, the hairy-faced man that hijacked her, fits a villain off a famous movie that was happening at that time. I can't even remember the movie's name.
Werewolf?
But when that composite sketch was going out, they were like, that looks like I don't know. I'm going to make it the Joker from Batman. Like, so it wasn't even a real person. This is somebody she watched on TV. So one kid was in a coma. One kid was severely injured. One kid was dead. And all she had was a superficial gunshot wound to her arm. And so people were like, it didn't add up. Like, you're lucky. They were like, you're so lucky, Diane.
Gosh,
and she was like, I'm not lucky. I couldn't tie my shoe on my own for weeks because of the pain that I was in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have to get, like, she has to wear slides. Okay? Like, that's really bad when you can't do that.
Now, this story is everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere. Okay, so, and meanwhile, she is still, like, at home. And
she's just ready to get her knickerbocker in.
Yeah.
That's all she thinks about.
She's visiting her kids in the hospital. It's all over the news. This composite sketches it everywhere, but this is a big deal. And so she's getting interviewed.
Weird shit.
We were just out, I guess, sightseeing, I guess you'd say. And the kids got tired. They fell asleep in the car, so I decided to just head on home. But I saw a road I hadn't been on before. We like to take back roads. And just went down that road. And there was a guy standing in the road, flagging me down, so I stopped. Everything was done in a matter of 5 or 10 seconds. He swung himself around and fired twice. One caught me in the arm, the other one I went off somewhere. Danny cried the whole way. I could hear him softly just moaning, and Christy was dying. God, all the blood, all the pain. This man shot my daughter. My first reaction was to snap back to my childhood, to the pain that had happened to me back then, my marriage, my entrapment by society. This man was bigger than me. He was stronger than me. He had more power because he had a gun. And I stood there and I looked at Christy reaching, and the blood that just kept gushing out of her mouth. What do you do?
So the public sympathy for Diane.
I mean, the blood just kept gushing out of her mouth. What do you do? And then she was entrapped by society, April. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
She was entrapped.
It goes back to her.
By society. In her rough childhood.
She loved her 15 minutes of fame. She was on Oprah. She was like on all the famous talk shows.
Oh my gosh, I remember that interview because I looked at it and it was her on the TV. What, didn't Oprah have a TV of her? Wasn't she in?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't remember. I was listening to it, but I didn't watch it.
I think that was whenever she was already.
Oh, so she interviewed her when she was innocent, and then she was back on Oprah after.
Yes, and Oprah interviewed basically the TV screen because she talked to the TV screen. It was so funny.
So she's loving her 15 minutes of fame. She's on the Oprah show, and which each interview she would add another detail to the story.
You gotta, spice it up a little bit.
She even tells police, like, when she got to the hospital, that she was driving like a lunatic to try to get them to the nearest hospital and get them some help because her kids were hurt and she wanted to save her kids. But another man came forward and said that because, mind you, her car's on the news, everything's on the news, this composite sketch. He ends up passing her on this road that she's on because she's going 5 miles an hour.
That's real slow.
Slow.
That's not very.
What do you think was happening?
That's not very fast.
No.
She's not in a rush.
No. She's waiting for her kids to die.
Yeah, she done killed the kids.
She was driving slow enough so that maybe they would die on the way and they would be dead on arrival when they got to the hospital.
DOA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And did she have a station wagon or like a beaver?
I don't know.
I feel like she drove a beaver. Like a station wagon, like with a beaver's a car with wood on it.
Oh yeah.
Wood grain. Like it has wood on the side and it's like a station wagon wood.
Yeah,
beaver.
like
or like a Lincoln. My mom drove a Lincoln with like velvet red seats.
We had a station wagon growing up, and we loved sitting in the back part.
I remember
back then you have to worry about seatbelts.
Oh,
no big deal.
That Lincoln was so long and it had so much room. Like nowadays, I would actually love to drive that. Anyway.
Okay, so
So she's going 5 miles an hour.
5 miles an hour, and now they have a witness saying that she was not in any hurry to get her kids some help.
A whole bunch of notes.
So all they did, now they were entertaining her a little bit. They were like searching for this man. They were searching the river. This is like the night of the murder. They searched the road. They did everything, and all they found were some bullet casings. So they have that, and they collected that evidence. And after they started getting all this other stuff, they were like, we think she did it. And then guess who calls the police?
Knickerbocker.
Knickerbocker! He says that now that he is a little scared because he had just broke it off with her just a couple weeks before because of her kids. And that he had noticed that he had been getting a bunch of phone calls from her the day of and right after the incident. So he thinks that she killed her kids for him.
Not the werewolf man.
Not the werewolf man, no. Her. So they go and they check her house. And there is a rifle at the house.
Oh.
And there is a .22 pistol. And there are actually bullet casings that fit the exact match of the bullet casings that were at the crime scene.
Ma'am.
So there's some evidence.
You have all the evidence right there.
And then
she had to hide it.
She had some big, like, steel unicorn like statue made with all of their names on it, like it would be in remembrance
almost
of
like
them.
She like felt something for them and wanted to have something to remember them by. But
Yeah.
They weren't even all dead.
Like she was playing, like but she had planned to kill them. So she was like, "This is going to be my unicorn's memorial of my kids." It had all their names on it, so they thought that was weird too. So, everything's just kind of falling apart for her.
I mean, but she did have the $10,000.
Yeah. I mean, she did buy a new car, so she's got a little bit some left.
But it has blood in it now, so.
So the famous quote is, detectives finally get her in, and they're like, Diane, we're sorry to tell you, but your whole story stinks.
Oh,
and her famous reply was, well, you better go get some deodorant.
No.
Meanwhile, more interviews are coming out.
Out of the car and put herself in that situation.
We were always out on dark roads, light roads, city roads, country roads. I was a single woman. I had been divorced for a couple of years, and quite frankly, I got pretty used to driving by myself with the kids.
So late at night, 9:30, 9:45, 9:50, 10 o'clock at night, the stranger is in the middle of the road, so it didn't even occur to you that maybe I shouldn't stop?
Well, I'd picked up many hitchhikers before. This man was not a hitchhiker, but I had picked up hitchhikers before, and nobody ever shot us before. And quite frankly, nobody had ever been, no strange man had ever treated me or my children in such a way, and I just had no preconceived notion that he might do those things.
How did this man know your children were in the car? Because if the children were sleeping and lying down in the back of the car, it's dark on the road, how would he know to reach into the car and shoot 3 children separately?
Oprah, I can only give you my conclusion as to what I think might have happened, because I don't know. I didn't take the time to ask him how or why. But when he got inside the car, there was a light on inside the car. He could have easily seen the children. If you want an opinion, in my opinion, it is possible. There were witnesses that saw him out there on the road that night, about 30 people that saw him, and all agreed that he looked like he was drugged in some way.
Things were definitely not.
Oh, now there's 30
people.
witnesses
We got
on the
30
road.
witnesses on the road.
On a dark road in the middle of the night.
Road, we have 30 people. What the hell? You got damn aliens coming out here being witnesses? What you got?
What?
You got little orphans out here, little witnesses?
So she's dropping new information.
This bitch, I cannot.
So, daughter Christy, is awake.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
out of the
she
coma.
about to tell.
And they know that she is going to be the best witness. Okay?
Yeah.
But they don't want to scare her, so they assign her to a therapist. And the therapist has a great plan that, I don't know where they got it, But they were like, Christy, we need to talk about the incident and talk about what happened. But if you're not ready to talk about it, you can just write it down. And we know you know who did this to you, but you don't have to say anything. There's no pressure. But it will help you if you just at least write it down.
Yeah.
So what they would do, and she says, then nobody's going to read it. You write it down. You write down who did it for you, and then we'll burn it together. So they would do this day after day, week after week. Write down who did it and burn it. And then one day, Christy was ready to let her read it. And the piece of paper said, my mom shot me. So then the therapist was like, we knew it. Let me call the popos.
Help.
And so Christy was able to tell them that night, she said her mom randomly pulled over on the side of the road, got out, got something from the trunk, and when she got back in, she kneeled on the front seat, like turned around, like she's in the front seat, on her knees, turned around, shot her siblings, and then shot herself. She had a towel already in the car. She wrapped her arm up with the towel and then started driving slowly down the road. She even remembered the song that was playing on the radio, blasting.
Because, like,
something
the
with
kids
wolves.
have to be screaming, obviously. Like,
yeah. Or, I mean, after you're shot, maybe, like, unconscious by this time?
I
Like,
mean,
what
not
was
if
in a
you're
coma?
shot. I don't know. I would be, like, in shock and, like, ow, that hurts, maybe?
Ugh.
Hungry like the wolf, is that it?
Yeah, hungry like the wolf, yeah.
Oh, no. No.
You
Don't
just shot 3 of your kids and you wrap only your little shitty gunshot.
This bitch, I hope she burns with OJ.
So 9.
And she's so ugly, and she does have those terrible eyebrows. And she has a horse face. Ugh.
9 months later, it took them 9 months. Diane Downs was finally charged with murder, attempted murder, and criminal assault.
And being a whore.
So much of a whore.
Oh, hell. She done banging the police officer. She's banging the
tries.
parole officer. And I know she's banging everybody in prison.
When she goes to trial, she shows up and she's 9 months
she's
pregnant.
Yes. Who was she? This, I cannot. Who is putting their thingy in her thingy?
Listen, somebody likes it. So they ask her about why she's having a kid now.
I miss my kids desperately. I had just seen Christy on the 2nd of October, and it's like opening a wound and pouring salt in. I was extremely lonely, beyond belief and beyond explanation. And on October 13th, I just went and got pregnant because I was so lonely. I love my children. I miss my children. And I know that sounds simplistic. It really does. And I have to admit that. And that's why I say there's so much more feeling inside than I can give in 2 minutes.
I got pregnant because I miss Christy and I miss Danny and I miss Cheryl so much. I'm never going to see Cheryl on Earth again. And you can't replace children, but you can replace the effect that they give you. And they give me love, they give me satisfaction, they give me stability, they give me a reason to live and a reason to be happy, and that's gone. They took it from me. But children are so easy to conceive.
And going into trial, Diane,
so easy to conceive.
I hate her. This is the interview with Ann Rule.
Yeah,
and she's
Ann
on
Rule.
TV talking from the wherever, and because Ann Rule wrote that book.
Small Sacrifices.
I hate this. Oh, children
we're gonna do
are so easy to conceive. Oh, I just love them. I just love it. I miss them so bad. Oh, ma'am, why do you miss your children?
I'll
Because
never
you killed
see
them.
on Earth again. But you will not see them in heaven either.
But you will not. You will be burning in flames right next to all them other people. Richard Ramirez.
Ask
Susan
me
Smith.
how she got pregnant.
Oh my gosh, in the butt. How did she get pregnant?
She was the real DTF. Obviously. So, you remember she was a post woman, a mail carrier?
Mm-hmm.
So she just remembered this one house that she
was
would deliver
delivering
to.
a package.
She used
and
to
she got the
deliver
package.
to, and a man lived alone. So she just knocked on his door one day, brought some whiskey and some weed, and they got drunk and high, and she slept with him, and she got pregnant on purpose.
Like,
she can get pregnant so easily.
Why are these guys letting it go inside of her?
Oh, hell. I mean,
I don't know.
It's back in the day.
I know.
Are there even condoms back then?
I don't know. Did they even know that? I can't. You know she's had sex with at least 507 people.
At least.
At least. She has got to be just
Well, she's not done screwing yet.
Oh, I know. I know she'd be doing it in the jail. I know.
So, okay.
Tell him, girl. Tell him.
At the trial, obviously her best witness was her daughter. She got up and she testified in court in front against her mom in front of everybody. She's a badass.
Yeah.
This bitch is she told the specific song that was playing, and the prosecutors played that song at the trial. Okay? Diane starts dancing to the song.
Ma'am.
And her lawyers are like, ma'am. You know, like when you're, elbowing her, probably slapping the shit out of her.
Gosh, she can't. She is such a narcissist. Like she's
she's
epitome.
Worse. Yes, I think she's worse than Kaylee's mama, Casey. She's right up there with Casey.
Yes,
with Jodi Arias. It's bad. It's bad.
It's bad. She's worse because she's over here like getting pregnant with all these kids and wanting more kids.
Yeah, just because. So, but the prosecutors are kind of scared because has the jury, and there's women on the jury, are they going to convict a 9-month pregnant woman? Which they say this is why she got pregnant for empathy that.
Yep.
Her defense got up there and said that her father, her very religious, conservative father, actually abused her until she was 12 years old.
Oh, of course.
And that's why she was so promiscuous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The jury deliberated for 36 hours. But she was sentenced to life plus 50 years.
With
possibility of parole.
And that came up already once.
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's where we're going. Okay, so in 1986, so a little bit after this, the prosecutor, Diane's prosecutor, adopted Christy and Danny. Danny was paralyzed forever, but they...
Wait, where's the dad? What happened to
Steven? They did not... They thought that it would have been too traumatic for Steven to even get them, because Steven wasn't even in a great position. Like, he didn't have a lot of money, so they would have went through a traumatic thing and probably would have still had a hard life, where this prosecutor could and was willing to give them a good life, and that's what they deserved. Yeah. And the dad ended up being okay with that because he thought the prosecutor could give him what he couldn't.
Does he still see? Okay, well, you probably don't know. But he still sees him. We don't know.
When she gave birth, the baby was removed immediately and adopted, and she was named Rebecca Babcock.
Okay.
So it's either going to be Knickerbocker or Babcock. I don't
know.
Did
they just make up a name? I guess whoever adopted her is their last name.
And she later recanted that her dad molested her. She said that she was just trying to get empathy. So,
Casey Anthony.
On July 11th, 1987, she's outside in the prison yard. And she becomes Cavalcante. And she climbs the fence.
Oh, hell, this bitch.
And she takes off her jacket. She throws it over the barbed wire. And she escapes freaking prison.
I don't think I knew that.
She is gone for 10 days. And there's this nationwide manhunt.
I did know. Yes, I did know
nationwide manhunt because she is dangerous. And they had to put the kids in hiding because they thought maybe she was going after
No,
her
she
kids.
went to go get the
She
D.
found
She
her.
went straight to the D.
They found her at the house of one of the inmates.
Yes.
Husband in the bed doing the dirty
because she
with one of the inmates' husbands.
Yes, because she talked to her inmate or to her roommate inmate about, and the inmate was like talking about, oh, my
Where
husband.
she lives.
Yes, and telling her all the stories about it. And then she's got real wet about it, and she's like, oh, I got to go get me some of that D because obviously that's good. And so then that's
What happened is somehow the inmate or Diane drew a map of where they lived.
Yes.
And they found that map in the cell.
Yes.
So she escaped to get laid.
Yes, she did.
But she did not get pregnant.
Oh, I bet she was pissed. I bet she was pissed. She's like, damn it, I got to find a guard.
What is that called that you just want to be pregnant like that?
I don't know. I'm going to look up pregnant infatuation
Now,
syndrome.
She was eligible for parole. She got a 5 extra bonus years for the escape. 10 days. That's a long time.
I know.
She's really just right down the road, just getting the D.
Yeah. She's like, I wasn't hiding. I was just.
Yeah. She was eligible for parole in 2008, and that was denied. She has continued to change her story since then, each time she talks. She was up for parole in 2020, but she was denied because she did not take responsibility again. She's still blaming on the bushy-haired man.
Oh.
And by the way, when she escaped, she said she was going to go find the bushy-haired man.
Oh, well, she did it for a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame her.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't give her like bonus years for that.
No, that's rude.
She's up for parole again in 2025. So we'll hear about that in 2025. Now, her dad, up until the day he died, thought that his daughter, Diane Downs, is innocent, not capable of killing her kids, and that he had a $100,000 reward out for the bushy-haired man that hijacked.
Sir, go in with her in the cell and just y'all do it together. I mean, sir, get out of here.
His daughter's innocent.
Okay.
Now, this is the sad part.
Oh, no.
I mean, now, Rebecca Babcock, the daughter that was adopted, right, was adopted from a great family. But when she got a little bit older, she started, like, wondering why her parents did not want her to know who her mom was. She would ask questions, and they would, like, get real funny acting. So she tricked her babysitter into telling her. She told her, she acted like she knew who her mom was to the babysitter.
That's what I would be the one to be tricked. I would be the tricked babysitter. They'd be like talking over like, oh yeah.
It's also like you're kind of conniving, like your mama, or like that you're.
Shit.
So the babysitter was like, oh, yeah. So your mom, it's Diane Downs. Like she's in prison. She killed your siblings, and that kind of shocked her for a little bit, but it didn't really do too much that time. But when she got older, she found a book named Small Sacrifices.
Oh, that's it.
By Anne Rule, and she read it, and she was devastated. Tried to forget it again, and did a good job of forgetting it. When she got a little bit older, she was watching TV with her boyfriend when a documentary about her mom came on. She was watching it like with her boyfriend and like I think her family, and their reactions and her just seeing and watching her mom's interviews. She couldn't shake it. She ran away. She turned to drugs. She dropped out of school, and her life spun out of control.
No.
She was traumatized. She got pregnant at 17.
Oh.
That child was taken away immediately. She got pregnant again.
Oh,
now,
no,
mind you, she's on drugs. She's living in a homeless shelter. Pregnant. She gives this child up for adoption.
Oh, no.
And it bothers her so bad that she wants to write her mom a letter.
Oh, no.
And the letter, like the first letter, Diane immediately responds back, and she's like, "Oh my goodness, you look just like me." I guess she sent her mom a picture. "You look just like me. Don't you hate that chin we have?" And like she was just writing like everything's like normal. And then she slowly starts accusing Becky of being a spy and part of a conspiracy that is trying to
What are they trying to do?
keep her in jail.
Okay. This bitch is like the worst.
She's the worst. So Becky stopped writing her because it was even worse for her to talk to her mom, because then she just really found out who her mom was even more. And Becky decided, you know what, just because she's my mom doesn't mean I have to be like her, because she was going down a road.
Okay.
So Becky decided to give her shit together. She got sober. She went to college. She got a degree in psychology. She became a mom again. And she kept this baby, and she's a great mom to her son. And she works as a behavioral health coordinator.
Oh my gosh, the way that some people can just get pregnant is wild.
Well, you got to think about it. Back then, they didn't feed us all this bullshit that we're eating. Like, it's something in our food that makes so many women. There wasn't such thing as women being not impotent, but whatever.
Yeah, like unable to get pregnant?
Yes.
It's
way too common now.
It's very, yeah, it really is.
So she's a behavioral health coordinator, and she's living a great life. And she's
thank goodness, Becky. I thought you had no hope if you started writing your
Becky.
mama and you trying to be like best BFFs. I think it's called perinatal OCD.
Oh, really?
I think.
Yuck.
And well, maybe that's why you're pregnant after you says the thoughts and compulsive behaviors that may affect your life. No.
Christy and Danny ended up living a quiet, peaceful, beautiful life after being adopted.
Another prosecutor.
And Christy forever had a speech impairment.
Impediment.
That was it.
As do I. So we, it's fine. You always will get through it with your speech impediment.
So that is Diane freaking Downs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, which prison is she in? Is she?
I forgot. I think she's in Oregon.
Okay, she's 68 years old right now. Okay, and I was just curious because I'm like, where's she at? This bitch, I cannot even. Yep. Okay, but so when she was. Good Lord, she was 25 years old. She was convicted in 1984 and sentenced to life in prison with possible parole after 25 years. Oh, wait, she wasn't 25 years old. Born in 55 and 83 is when the murder was. So how old was she? 83 minus 55. 28? Good Lord, she was a big, huge whore by 28 and murdered
Way
kids.
Way before 28.
Wow, man.
Oh, I mean, she's worse than Susan Smith to me. Obviously worse than Andrea Yates. She's probably the only not decent one, but horrible. Not as horrible.
Oh, yeah, she's in Oregon. Yep. Yeah.
Casey
she
Anthony.
is worse. So, yeah, I think, so Susan Smith, she's pretty bad. And she's,
yeah,
she
I mean,
the motive,
yes, she does, yeah.
Yeah, so
she's
they're
the one
very
that's doing
similar.
All the,
yes, the prison
they are
guards.
so similar. Did it behind the
They
man.
are very similar.
Allegedly
the other
had a
one,
weird relationship
Andrea
with
Yates, she has mental, and she knows that she does, and she wants to stay in, so she's the least worst.
Casey Anthony's horrible because she's still trying to blame everybody else.
She's still trying to blame everybody else, and Jose Baez, her attorney, now he's about to be on this other trial for this other chick. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, those are the worst, the top worst.
Yeah. I didn't know this story. I've always heard the name. I've never heard the story. I was randomly listening to podcasts. coming back from Abilene the other day. This one and then my next story.
Yes.
That we've all know the name.
But not the story.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Oh, what a great story.
Happy Mother's Day to all you
Happy
mommies.
Mother's Day. Get ready for next week. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do one. I got to find a good one.
Okay. We will see y'all next week for all new episodes. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Down to find, not down to do the other stuff like
down
Diane
to
Downs.
Find the murderer and not down to be like Diane because she's a skanky whore.
She was.
And she's ugly with a big chin and a horse face. Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.